So hi everyone, I'm Jigyasa Sachdeva. I'm in my second year of my MBA, currently in a school term, and I am majoring in finance. Very excited to be here. And just a little bit more about me. I have a bachelor's in biochemistry from the University of Victoria. So I was a pre-med student as well. So I majorly worked with pharmaceuticals and medical companies, and then I took a pivot into wanting to explore what's out there for me. And that's how I ended up at my MBA. And now finance is what I like. So I'm heading for my final co-op term this summer to TD, and I'm going to be in the sales and trading department and working with commercial money markets.
That sounds
I love that. I'm so happy and I'm so proud of you.
Uh-huh.
Great working
Thank
with you,
you.
Jigyasa.
Thank you.
As you were talking, it just kind of reminded me of sort of my experience as well. So, hi everyone, my name is Sheyi, Sheyi Oluyede, and I'm currently in the MBA co-op program at McMaster. I'm also in my second year and I'm in an academic term now. Prior to studying the MBA, I did study psychology, which is very different from like business or finance. But I chose to actually go ahead and do an MBA at the time. And so with that, I was able to apply for the scholarship, and now I will be joining CIBC in the capital markets data governance as an associate. Yeah, happy to be here and happy to have a conversation with you.
Yeah, amazing. Um, Hi, everybody. I'm Neha. Unlike my fellow women and who have done so well in their careers coming from different backgrounds, I had a very traditional business background. I always knew that I wanted to go in finance and I was trying to make my way in capital markets. And that motivation to work in capital markets was the reason I moved to Canada, was the reason I pursued my CFA charter, and receiving the Heather Elmain scholarship was the pivotal moment in my career, but I'm going off track. I'm currently a second year MBA student at DeGroote School of Business, majoring in finance. I think finance is my lifeblood. I love it. I love talking about it. Wake me up at 4 o'clock in the morning and I'll talk finance and be as passionate as I am at 10 p.m. But that is who I am, and I am so excited for the journey ahead.
Great. Yeah, it was so nice. I'm so happy and so excited for all of us. Honestly, I think we've done great, if I may say so myself. So just when thinking about why MBA, why here, I always thought to myself that, you know, I was getting a little bit bored of the life that I had created for myself. Maybe I wasn't always happy with the choices. So when the opportunity came that, I get to explore such a different side of the world and be a part of maybe a life I've always imagined but never believed in myself to be in. MBA has really helped me with that, with like my co-ops and the opportunities, even in capital markets. Neha, as you said, kind of, making your way in. It's not easy. It's not easy with a traditional career. It's not easy with a non-traditional career. And it's a very special place as a woman. So what do you guys think for the both of you? Why MBA and what drew you towards this?
I can answer that. Okay. I think for me, the MBA, the way when I in 2023 or in 2021, when I was thinking about pursuing an MBA, I think the motivation that I had was how do I take my career to the next level? And I believe the DeGroote MBA co-op program is one of the best in the country. And when I look back to September 2023 Neha and the current March 2025 Neha, they're two very different versions of myself, and I would go as far as to say that the version of me today is a lot more evolved, transformed, and I know myself a lot better since coming to the MBA. I have a better view of my future. I know where I want to take my career, and I think that is the value of an MBA, that it shows you what you're good at and where you want to take your career. So the MBA co-op program, because of its experiential learning, the alternative academic and work terms really enhance the learning experience, where you can put on different hats, you can explore, you can play around, you can find yourself. And getting lost is also part of finding ourselves. So yeah, the MBA program, the DeGroote MBA program gave me the opportunity to find myself, to find the best version of myself in all the uh, journey, like, all the versions of me that exist. I feel like I'm on the right trajectory now.
Awesome. Yeah, interestingly, same, honestly. So I was at a point in my career, and just to answer your question, I was at a point in my career where I had worked for about 3 years after my undergrad. And although I studied psychology, I found myself in like an operations role, which was totally off, right? And I remember thinking, okay, I'm in this role, but what's my next step? What can I do after this? Where do I see myself? And honestly, I saw myself doing a leadership role and taking on leadership capacity. And so I thought, okay, how can I ensure that this works out? How can I ensure that I'm equipped with the right skill set, equipped with the right knowledge to be able to actually pursue this and to do this well and to have a positive impact on whatever organization that I join? And the one thing that came to mind was an MBA. Yeah, why not? Why not an MBA? It was, of course, uncomfortable, leaving work, leaving like the comfort of like making money and all of that. But in the moment, it seemed worth it. And looking back now, it has been 100% worth it. It's been an opportunity for me to grow into a new person, grow capacity wise, grow in knowledge of like the business, different business aspects. I'd never done anything finance, anything economics, any accounting at all. But now I have the opportunity to do that. Alongside, I've also had the opportunity to work in different organizations, right? So new relationships that I've built within MBA program as well as like externally with all the other organizations that I've worked with has been fabulous. I think another thing that the MBA, I guess for me, now looking back, but really what it's helped me do is build my confidence. I think that me before the MBA would not be able to pursue or attempt things that I do now. And I really wanted to break out of that break out of that comfort zone. And so that's why I decided to, yeah, go ahead, pursue my MBA and happy to now be in it, almost done with it.
It
No.
is such a beautiful answer. And when you spoke about, breaking boundaries, getting out of your comfort zone,
Yeah.
looking for opportunities that you previously did not think of, and I believe that is what the MBA is for you to challenge your status quo and to uplift yourself. Like it gives you a stage basically to perform.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was amazing. Thank you.
Yeah,
I
for
I
sure.
resonate with both of you. I think what you both said encapsulates the experience. I think maybe if not just for us, for everybody who's been in the MBA. It's a very different world than I think what we would have imagined before coming in. And every semester, I feel like every few months, the experience completely changes. And of course,
Mhm.
especially with the Groot, the opportunity to alternate between work and academic, I feel like I learned so much more about myself in both aspects where I was like, I didn't know I was capable of this. And that revelation just makes the next moment so much better. And it's honestly such an exciting journey. And we're almost at the end. That's a little
Yes.
jarring because I feel like I just started. But then if I look back, it's been a while.
And it's
Yeah,
it's
and
been a transformative journey. Like it has,
Yeah.
I cannot believe the changes, and I see all of us going through that change. The whole cohort, and you look at everybody, and they feel like a more evolved, more, grown up versions of ourselves, and that is
yeah.
exciting to watch. That is exciting.
100%.
The one thing that comes to mind is like I'm just thinking of also the characteristics that we've now built, like the ability to be able to manage and multitask things. It's crazy. Like being able to say, okay, this is very difficult in this moment, but then
Mhm.
coming together and we're able to figure it out. It builds you into like, oh yeah, I can do anything. Okay, is it this? I'm gonna figure it. I might not know the answer now, but I'm gonna be able to figure it out down the line because the
Yeah,
MBA has equipped me with that skill set. So
yeah.
amazing choice.
The ability to say that I do not know it right now, but I'll figure it out. I don't know, but I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
That confidence is amazing. It's amazing.
And I think, yeah, the school or just the program in general has equipped us with that. And I think that's what kind of, at least for me, and I'm hoping maybe you will chime in, help with the whole Heather Elmaine, both professionally, personally, that seemed like a big thing, considering the scale it was at, the cycles we went through, the people and the competition, and just exceptional women all around. Um, it feels like that was a really really big moment, and now actually kind of getting closer to live the or reap the benefits of the all the hard work we've given in. I think it's just so exciting. And then one thing I think throughout the journey of Heather Elmain that we were doing, there was a quote that really stuck with me. When I was a child, I used to read a lot of Dr. Seuss, so I related with the quote, and somehow sooner or later it found a way itself on my desk. So I have like a little placard of it. And it says that why should I fit in when I was meant to stand out? And when I was going through that journey, this was a fear that I had. And I was like, oh my God, how am I going to do this? I'm not like anybody else and I don't have this experience. And then I think recalling back on that, I kept on thinking, but I wasn't meant to be like everybody else. And that's why I'm here so far. So I think it's getting that, having validation that that does stand true, and getting an opportunity to now progress in my career through this by, pairing up with a great bang, just like all of you, and getting a stepping stone. It feels great, and I'm sure you guys must have similar feelings about this. So, what do you think? How are you feeling about that? Like, how is it going to shape your journey?
Oh my gosh, yes, yes, yes. Like the same, honestly, just thinking about the Heather Elwin, I'm smiling because in the moment it seemed very like scary, right? It seemed very, very scary. But then being able to look back and see like, oh yes, I did that. Like I achieved that. Oh my gosh, I'm so proud of me. That's honestly how I feel. Yeah, the Elming, like the as you mentioned, the process itself is is character building, to be honest, especially for someone like me, right? So for some context, I only had one interview. I only had like I also had never worked in finance. I'd never worked in like the core capital markets. So I remember going in thinking, okay, I see everyone with the CFA around, with the CPA, or with some sort of certification. And I just felt, okay, do I have the right skill set for this? Should I be here even? Do I know the finance? Like it was very daring. It was a very daring decision that I decided to take, going ahead with the HLMS application. But then being there, being able to interact with ladies, being able to realize that we're all just trying to figure it out as well. We're all just trying to nail this because we recognize how big an opportunity it was. And then coming out of that and being able to like say, yes, I want it is something that has helped build my confidence. It's given me a great platform to be able to even chase more and to do more. I think for me, it's also like reinforced the fact that I am excellent. Like I am excellent with the way I present myself. I'm also excellent with the knowledge that I have. Even though I may not necessarily have that information now, I'm someone who's willing to like chase after it and learn it, and putting myself in that position um to actually apply for the scholarship and to eventually win the scholarship is was great. It was a great one.
You
So
have
nice.
encapsulated the entire HLM process so well. And Jigyasa was talking about a quote and the way that I approach the HLM process, because again, it is a very character
Wow.
building process altogether, because it's a 2 month long process from the first essay you write till you get a yes or a no. So it's a two month long process, and we're continuously under the pressure of performing during those two months. And I believe all three of us were during our were on our co-op terms
Yeah.
while we were doing the SLM process as well. So anyway, that whole process is so character building. And
Yeah.
I think one of the things that I took away from that process was the thought that there are no losers here. When I was surrounded by 30, 40 women in the same room, I was inspired. I wanted everyone to win and I wanted everyone to
Yeah.
succeed. And there was never, like, we all knew that only five of us are going to get selected. And there were moments of, there are always moments of competition and, I want to be the best. But there was always that feeling that, you know what, I want these women to win with me. And there are no losers here because all of us from five different schools collecting in one building, and that energy was palpable. And the only thought that I had was, in this process, they're only winners, that there are no losers. And I was so inspired. And honestly, I felt like I was surrounded by powerhouses of the future, because all of us are going to run into each other one way or the other. And it was just a beautiful, beautiful journey. And I'm so very grateful for, having experienced it. We are the recipients of the scholarship, but I feel like we're all 50 of us were the winners there.
Honestly, I agree as
Agree.
well. And
Yeah.
also, even like just thinking about it, I remember when we would come together and sort of just go over like, okay, what are
Yeah.
we expecting from the next question? What are we expecting from the next stage? It just built like a bond between all of us. Even at like the boardrooms, we're thinking, and we're like, okay, what's happening in the interest rate right now? What's going on? And so that also itself
Yeah.
was very, very reassuring to just kind of also see all the other ladies
Yeah.
trying to also ensure that we're putting our best foot forward, ensuring that we're
Mhm.
doing it together, ensuring that we're encouraging one another. Going into the interview, we're like, oh, good luck, you're going to do great. And just having ladies that you've now built this connection with people from Ratman, people from other schools that now you're able to always interact with and reach out to is, yeah, it's amazing. And then seeing their win on LinkedIn and you see all these different posts now and it's like, oh, amazing. I met you at HLMS.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to be connected with you.
Agree.
And I feel
Honestly,
like that is,
go
sorry,
ahead.
go
No,
ahead,
no, go
Jasmine.
ahead.
No,
It's
no, no.
okay. Oh, I was just gonna agree, like the support in that room, um,
Mhm.
just being with women who are, of course, they're trying to achieve everything, but they're so supportive of you. And those little gestures of telling you, oh, maybe go a little more professional in this room. This room is a bit more casual. Or even you, like I remember, I think on our last interview date, I was asking you, Neha, about the interest rates. And I'm like, oh my God, who's the governor of Bank of Canada? Like those things I haven't experienced competition like that. For me, competition or previously was a competition.
Yeah.
I don't think that kind of support or help is always available. But this was more of a room where we're all already winners. So like
Mhm.
let's try to uplift each other. And then whoever kind of crosses that line, sure, but you're here, you're in this room with each other, you're already winners. And that was a very unique, but I think an experience that was one of the highlights
Yes.
of the whole thing.
And I would just want to add one more thing to the whole, like, it is so uniquely women, when you going into a competition, you're not bringing each other down. And that was not a competition at all, in my opinion. It was a more of a collaboration, because
Mhm.
I don't think I would have been a recipient without every other woman in the room. Like, my victory in a lot of ways is testament to all the women in the room. Like, it felt more like a collaboration and not a competition at all. Because I know, asking Siranjeet about Scotiabank's interviewing process, I asked so many people about what questions are they asking, what, so that
Yeah.
I can prepare it before. So yeah, it was a very unique experience, and I'm so proud of every woman in the room, because there was just collaboration, and it's very unique to women. I feel like it's something that women are very good at uplifting each other, even though they're competing against each other in a lot of ways. Like, the world will pit us against to compete, but women just have that natural instinct of collaborating. So yeah.
And
Yeah. And
it's recognized. Go ahead, say, go ahead.
I was gonna actually ask a question because something came into my mind while Neha was speaking. It's just
Mhm.
like now we've experienced that, but the consideration is like going forward, how do we ensure that like we're creating those spaces? Because as you mentioned, it was a great opportunity to have ladies, but you find that sometimes in the organization or like in finance, for example, there are not a lot of ladies, right? In the field. So how do we ensure that we're actually creating spaces like this where women can feel like it's not competition, it's more so like us collaborating or more so encouraging and empowering each other to be able to do the work that is needed to be done.
I think,
I think
yeah.
that's
So for me, I think having this opportunity was a big, like a wake-up call for me to realize that, sure, there's not a lot of women in these spaces, but there's always efforts being made, spaces being created, and people are ready to take a chance on talent, regardless of gender, regardless of how a person identifies. That was the big wake up call. And also, it instills that confidence that, great, even if I don't win this, or if I win this, I will still be privy to this unique knowledge and this unique feeling that spaces will always exist. And then it's on me that as I move forward in my journey, whether it's my personal life, it's my career, how do I show
Yeah.
up for these people? How do I create those spaces? And I think the idea of, even if you can hold yourself accountable in these moments, and if you
Yeah.
yourself realize that, you know what, I should respect the fact that a door was open for me. So I should try to open as many doors as possible, because now you know how hard it was. And when you've got everything that you wanted, why wouldn't you want to make it possible for the others? I think that realization, when that sinks in, and once you do get that, I feel like you will automatically start to make those spaces, help those people out. Being in a position of power obviously will help the most. So I think your personal goals versus your goals of creating the spaces for others can go hand in hand. So I think, yeah, that would just be my idea of kind of making sure that people have shown up for me. So I'm going to do 10 times more, or maybe more than that, to show up for the others. Because just showing up, being there, listening to somebody, I think it goes a really long way. At the end of the day, I can't change somebody's trajectory of their life, but I
Mhm.
can be a supporting member or a supportive force that can maybe guide them a little bit. And I think I'd be happy with that.
That's been, you said
100%.
it so beautifully, Jigyasa. That is beautiful. Thank you. And I feel like with the creating more spaces for women, it's always about paying it forward. It's not about paying it back. I don't like saying paying it back because it's not a transaction. And I want to pay it forward and make this journey a little easier for someone in my shoes. Like, if I can, smoothen the road for someone, I would do it. I'll give it my all to like make it easier for someone to make it in their lives and get to wherever they want to go. It doesn't have to be capital markets, doesn't have to be finance. It can be anywhere. So I think empowering and lifting people up is uh, is is all we can do, and it goes a long way. So thank you. Beautifully said.
Yeah. Yeah. And I personally agree as well. As you guys were talking, I'm like, okay, yes, okay. So this is it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because even in terms of like my application process, I remember reaching out to like people who had won it in the past. And I think just them being very encouraging, just being very like available to speak to me, available to take time out to actually have a conversation with me, encouraged me and sort of also like pushed me to like, okay, I can do this. Like it built that like confidence for me to be able to go ahead with it, and that trust in myself, because I believe like they trusted in me, right? They took out that time to actually invest their time, invest their knowledge into like having a conversation with me. And so that's, as you mentioned, that's what I think I personally as well. And I
Mhm.
guess as you ladies have already mentioned, we'll be doing like ensuring that we're not just um focused on getting ourselves ahead, which is okay, that's fine, but like also ensuring that we're passing across knowledge, granting other women the audacity. I find that that's something that not a lot of us are like pushed to, and I think that is something we really really need to. And the way we do that is really by community. It's by building and having people who are there to encourage, push us, mentors who are able to be like, oh no, you can actually do more, you can
Yeah.
actually go for it, like you don't need to be scared, because that's something that's going to help open more doors. The more we try, the more we knock, the more those doors are actually going to open up to us. So I like your answers, and they really helped also with me sort of
Yeah.
clarifying that. Yeah.
I have a question. So I
Yeah.
know that this journey was not easy for any of us. We had to break through barriers, break through those glass ceilings. Could you tell me more about the obstacles, problems that you faced during this journey?
Hmm. This journey is meaning the HLMS, this journey meaning like our lives.
Your take it
Your
wherever you want.
our take on what our journey is.
Yes.
Okay, so I think I can, maybe I won't go back to like my full journey. It's because I feel like, as maybe children, as young adults, we all face problems, very uniquely ours, and maybe not uniquely ours. I feel like maybe if I'm suffering with something today with my family,
Mhm.
1,000 years ago, there must have been, I don't know, some philosopher going through the same thing that's recorded in a journal today. So not that
Yeah.
unique, but in terms of, I could say maybe the MBA, my career, identify my own identity in professional spaces, that could be very unique to me. I always felt, since I guess my undergrad, I felt very unfulfilled in terms that I know I was doing something and I know I was doing it good, but I just feel like I'm destined for more. I could be better. I know I can be better, but the fear of failure is something that scares me. So I didn't end up trying. And I think imposter syndrome was definitely a big part of it. I'm not over it yet. Still, stepping into rooms where maybe I haven't stepped before, or, maybe going to a table where there's no space for me yet. That
Mhm.
really haunts me, or like it's very daunting for me still. But I think I always believed in myself, in my ability, because I think once that realization was with me that, I am meant for something greater, I think that really
Mhm.
pushed me to apply for an MBA. I felt like, oh, I have a science degree. Why would anybody want to bet on me? Um, and then when I got that, and I was like, okay, no, you were just thinking wrong. But because, and that's the same quote, right? I wasn't meant to fit in. Made to stand out. So my journey is going to be different. Same with HLM. It's the imposter syndrome that kept coming in. And even with the interviews, when I found out, oh my God, somebody's been an investment banker for 5 years, somebody's a trader, this person has a CFA, a CA, they're also doing amazing things that I've heard of, never really tried. So I always felt like maybe not good enough, or the imposter syndrome seeking in. But I think it's important, of course, to acknowledge it. I can't ignore it and move on. I have to acknowledge it. I have to accept that this is what exists within me, but then I am bigger than that feeling. My essence is bigger than that feeling, and then believing in myself. And I think those things really help me to kind of move past those challenges and obstacles. I think I was talking to Neha about 2 weeks ago about starting the new job in the summer, and how again, the imposter syndrome is very real, where you're like, oh my God, I've never been in a room of traders and salespeople. I've never really just sat down and had a big meeting at 7 a.m. talking about markets. I don't know how I'm going to do that. But
Mhm.
I do believe that if I wasn't ready for something, it would never come my way. That opportunity would never exist if I wasn't ready for it. So because it has happened for me and I'm here, I know that I will be doing good, but I think, yeah, the challenge will keep on evolving as I move forward, but hopefully I can keep on tackling it.
I have no doubts that you're going to do great at everything that you do. And you are
Honestly.
an amazing, wonderful, capable, strong woman. And I have
Oh, thank
zero
you.
doubts that you'll excel at everything that you put your mind and heart into. So all the power to you, Jigyasa. So well said.
Thank you. And same to all of you. Like before Neha, you start. Same. Very proud. When I saw the names, and even if no names, right? Even when we went to the first round, seeing faces of people I've spent the last year and a half with, and seeing, other people recognizing the greatness and the talent that exists, it just made me so proud. And I'm so happy to share this platform, to share this space with you, but also to see like all the exciting and new places that we're going, where more people are gonna see. Like we're great. So I'm very happy.
No, yes, for sure. I agree as well. Like, it is an amazing opportunity, and it's amazing to have all of you, honestly amazing. Like going in and seeing everyone's faces, really great. And yes, like I agree as well. Like in terms of summer, like going in, I'm just like I know we're gonna kill it. Like that's my like we're gonna come back in August, September. And we're gonna be like, oh yeah, it was an amazing
Yeah.
um, time. So. I do think that that would be great. In terms of my challenges, I was trying to think through it while you were speaking. I think that for me, it's more so being more assertive in the spaces that I find myself. So, as I mentioned, I think audacity is something I'm really trying to build. I'm trying to like ensure that I'm audacious in every way possible, daring to do what I normally wouldn't do. Um, so for me, like there's something that always stands out is like you miss 100% of the chances you don't take. If you don't take it, then you're gonna disqualify yourself before anyone disqualifies you rather. And so what I found has been a bit challenging is like being able to actually bet on myself sometimes, like, okay, let me take that risk, let me speak up in that conversation, let me actually share my opinions because of the fear of, okay, maybe that's something that everyone already knows. Or maybe that's just general knowledge. You don't need to say that. But I find that like being in spaces where I feel uncomfortable and being in spaces where you hear other people talking, you realize that the only way you can stand out and the only way you can actually like make a positive impact in those environments is by being assertive, by believing what you say, by believing that you know what you're doing there, that those spaces were created for you. And if they weren't, then you have to actually create the space for you, right? So that's been my challenge, but I do think that like it's something that every day I'm like, no, I can't let that win. I have to actually go ahead and take that audacious step. Yeah.
Beautiful.
I
All the
love what
power
you
to you.
said.
Yes.
Yeah, I love the thing you said about creating spaces because I
Mhm.
always keep hearing this, if there's no chair for you at the table, then you bring your own chair.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
It's not going to stop you or stop us from being in that room, taking those opportunities. Sometimes you just carve it out for yourself.
Yeah.
So
And
I
I
love.
love the piece about audacity, to have the audacity to like step up and take something that you want and
Yeah.
ask for it. I think this whole journey has taught me the audacity to knock on people's door, to reach out to a CEO and say that I want 15 minutes of your time. I don't care if you're
Yeah.
busy, give me your time because I want to learn from you. So I think that audacity and that hunger and that, that belief that we place in ourselves is amazing to see. So oh, amazing, amazing stuff.
Yeah. Have you faced any challenges you wanted to speak to?
Yeah. What about you?
Oh, wow. For me, it was more of an imposter syndrome as well. That even though I quote unquote had the charter, CFA charter holder, and I was in the bucket of finance people, I felt like I had that imposter syndrome of, being a brown immigrant, queer woman in
Mhm.
finance. So to challenge myself, to see myself as worthy of being in spaces, was a little bit of a work for me. The fear of failure has always, it has something that I've worked on is to just jump in and try things out. There's again there are no losers in life, there are only winners, and you will win regardless. If you keep one foot in front of the other, you will go far. So I think the whole process, the 2 months of that journey, was just continuous self-reflection and self-awareness of your old patterns that hold you back. I think that was again a very transformative journey about how do I get out of the shell that I put myself in. How do I break free of the labels I put on myself? As a brown immigrant queer woman, I've placed 4 labels on myself already. So how do I break free of those labels? How do I become by
Just name one.
unbecoming? Yeah,
Yeah.
and the only way to become sometimes is to unbecome.
Yeah.
And I think that is beautiful. Like it is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds like the
Awesome.
what Teal always says, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
About it's not about becoming who you are, it's about unbecoming everything you've been. So you can actually be who you were always destined to be. So
Yes.
I like that. It resonates so well with everything you
Mhm.
said.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you ladies. I'm like sitting through the conversation. I'm like, yes, like you guys are amazing, actually. Just even hearing you guys. Okay, so now we've spoken about a bit of challenges. Let's talk about like accomplishments that we're
Yeah.
very proud of. So maybe there's something that you wanna like talk about that like even though you've had to face like the self-doubt and like
Mm.
the and like doubting yourself, but you've been able to like overcome it to do something successful, something you're very proud of. So yeah, I guess anyone can answer.
Hmm.
So for me, like my journey of transformation started when I decided to give my CFA level 3 exam while moving from India to Canada. So I was planning to move from a one country and moving 25 years of my life, packing it into two suitcases and moving to a different country. And I decided that, you know what, I'll also study for the CFA level 3 and do it. I won't back down from a challenge of pursuing one of the hardest exams while doing one of the hardest things that one can do in their lives is to move to a different country. And I think that process was one of the most challenging months of my life, but also the most rewarding months of my life, because that was the time when I backed myself in every way that I could, believing in myself. And the only thing that I used to think about was there's no losing here again. There's only winning, I'll appear for the exam. And if I don't pass it, I gave the exam, and that was the win for me. And I'm so proud of that accomplishment, because not just I passed the exam in my first attempt while moving to a different country, and something that is some those months are something that I hold so dearly, and those months are the time that I go back to when I need to feel the power that is within me. When I need to give myself the proof that I am capable, I'm strong, I'm intelligent, I am, resilient. Those 6 months is when I, take my mind back to that you did that. So if you did that, you can do this. And I am so happy with that journey. And that is one of the that is the proudest moment in my journey, because um, not just because I passed an exam, that was not it. I think the process was the win for me, and the process taught me so much. So yeah, that was one of my proudest moments.
So
That's so
proud of you.
good.
That is
Because
so
yeah, like no, because I know how hard the CFA 3 is. I've heard the stories. So
yeah,
for you to do that while you're moving, no, that's crazy and that's
it's
good.
a
You should
lot.
be proud.
Yeah, and when I saw the LinkedIn post too, I'm like, I love that. I'm like, you deserve it. This girl deserves it. I don't know the CFA. I know the moving. I moved at 17. That was a challenge in itself. Um, but I feel like challenge, but again, easier because I hadn't established myself. I was still
Mhm,
like more of a freer spirit, but after
mhm,
25 years, maybe spending your adult life in a place. Now, if somebody asks me, okay, go move back somewhere else, I'm gonna think 10 times because now this is home. But I'll similar direction. I think at 17, maybe believing in myself and my dreams and my desire that, I want something more, I want something better. And maybe I don't want it where I started my journey at. That was something that I'm still very proud of myself for making that decision, because it's that decision that kind of, it's like a domino effect that
mhm,
has led me here. The first time I believed in myself, the first time I took a chance at myself and decided, yeah, I don't, maybe I have to leave my family behind for a little while in order to pursue the
yeah.
greatness that I was really, not that it wasn't possible back home, but I was just wanting something very different. So the pursuit of greatness, I think, not that I'm great or have achieved it, but it's on the way. And then, achieving something as big as like Heather Main, I think that was like the cherry on top. And yeah, I would consider both those moments, the journey of kind of believing in myself, taking the chances, and being my biggest supporter. I think if nobody else is there supporting me or cheering for me, I know I am, and that I'm okay with that. And I know that's never gonna happen. I know I'm always gonna have people in my corner, but just in case, maybe it's when it's too quiet, I know I'm there for myself. So that growth that I've had is a big thing for me and something I'm very proud of. And then, of course, the scholarship. I feel like even if I did not get to the end, yeah, I would have been disappointed, but I would have been just so happy that somebody, somebody who I deem important sees my worth just as I see it for myself. External validation feels great. Maybe not something we should always chase, but in those moments when somebody else recognizes your hard work and your worth, it feels
Mhm.
great. So I think both of those aspects were pretty big moments in my life. What about you, say?
Yeah, oof. It's so tough. It's tough picking because there are of course multiple things I'm very proud of. I think the HLMS is definitely one of them. Just because I honestly, hand to heart, I did not think I was gonna get it. So me applying was just like, okay, well, and that's the thing about having the right people in your corner, having
Mhm.
people who just sort of like push you. I'm like, oh no, like go ahead, you can actually do it, right? I just applied for this for like, okay, let me try my best. Let me not miss out. Let me not disqualify myself. And so winning it was a very amazing accomplishment, one that I would forever be very proud of. I think also doing the MBA is something I'm very proud of as well. I had been stable, I had been well sorted in terms of like I knew what I was going to do next in my office. Like there was a plan for me at the office, and so being able to be like, okay, no, I'm gonna take out that carpet from under my legs and actually just like dive deep into the water of going back to school after such a long time outside of school, I think is something I'm also very proud of, being able to come and look at it and be like, oh yes, I'm very like I did this. I'm very proud of the decision that I made. I've not regretted it once. And it's just opened multiple more doors for me. It's something that yeah, I would also hold dearly. Additionally, like there's a lot of other professional accomplishments, like and it could be the little things, right? Like so helping someone with like career, like they are trying to figure out their career and being able to be there to sort of be like, okay, because I've done this, and I may not have done all I want to do yet, but just based on my experiences and the things that I've done, I'm able to then help other people with their career development. I'm able to help them to like get jobs that they wanted, like things like create those resources. That's also like an accomplishment for me. I hold those badges very, very high. So yeah, I would say that.
Beautiful. Yeah. That's amazing. Like the I'm so inspired by your journey, and it is beautiful to, all be part of this program where you can learn and, just be inspired by people. So thank you for that. It's beautiful.
Yeah, and I think we also got, I think, a unique opportunity to get to know each other so much more than just school, than just classroom and our jobs. Even through this conversation, I think maybe we don't sometimes forget to look, forget to ask and
Mhm.
acknowledge, but this kind of brings it back in to the aspect of just being humans with
Mhm.
stories and journeys and ideas and feelings, and everything else is like an accessory to it. So I
Mhm.
think that's very, very, very beautiful.
It is beautiful. Yeah. I'm very grateful to be part of this
Yeah.
conversation because it's unique, it's beautiful, it's inspiring, and I want to, like I just want to soak it in and give it back. Like, just I just want to be a sponge, soak all the good things
Yeah.
in and hopefully be a transmitter of those,
Mhm.
those inspiration to the next generation, to anybody around me. So wow, thank you, you inspire me, thank you.
You as well, all of you.
Yeah, exactly. You guys inspire me, and I hope that like also people who may watch this kind of also feel like they can also inspire others, right? So we're still trying to figure out life, and I'm
Yeah.
sure that everyone who might be watching is also trying to figure out life. But in our little buckets, little opportunities that we have, we should create spaces and help others who are trying to figure out life. We're one step ahead of where we were before, right? And so there's some people who might be at the step we were yesterday. We can always give them an advice on how they can actually navigate through, making sure that they don't have to face the same like difficulties or challenges or self-doubts that we faced, and just being that supportive part into someone else's story. I think is what you ladies are doing for me right now, and I hope that in the long run that's something that we can also continue to do.
Yeah. Agreed. I think, yeah, with it, any advice, I think maybe when, I think at least that's what I've received, whether it was life, it was career, even the scholarship. I think the biggest thing that I got and the biggest thing that I can give is believe in yourself. Um, that is where it ends, and that's where it begins and that's where it ends. The moment you kind of lose that within yourself, I don't think anybody external can really help. The work of getting, so wherever you are, I'm so far, for me this is so far, right? Because this is
Mhm.
my like right now is my so far. I don't know how far I'm
Mhm.
gonna go. But for you, maybe if you're starting, maybe if you're already at a point, the work is all internal. The moment you
Yes.
believe in yourself, the moment you value yourself, right? And dream. And again, dream isn't dreaming big, small. Again, it's all only possible because you believe that, you know what, maybe I want more and I'm meant for more. I think those
Mhm.
desires can only arise when there's belief. So I think that would be my advice to everybody, from to myself as well. Constant reminder,
Mhm.
believe in yourself, because why would anybody else believe in you if you don't have that for yourself? So that would be my 2 cents about all of it. And I hope I can, this is a reminder that I want to kind of keep giving myself in the moments where I won't feel like that, because it's not easy,
Mhm.
being happy, positive, believing in yourself when things are not going great, but it is what helps.
Yeah.
Completely agree.
Okay.
I think my advice would go back to say and be like POD to any person who wants to go anywhere, have the audacity and the courage and the belief and the grit, the resilience to go and break free of the chains that we put on ourselves
Mhm.
and break free from the chains that others put on us, that we let them put on us, and to break free basically, just to become, to unbecome, to become, you
Yeah.
know, and yeah, just ask for what you want. Just be courageous enough to go and ask for people for what you want. I think that is something that I see people struggle with, and I struggled with it as well. But things started moving for me when I started asking for people for what I wanted. I think people can only help if you ask for help and if you know what you're asking for help for. I don't know if I'm making sense, but yeah, that is my 2 cents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can ask us, whoever's watching, listening, you can ask us. We'll be
Yes,
happy, very happy to help.
100%. Wake me up at 4 o'clock and I'll be happy to
Yeah.
help.
Just thinking that I'm like, please reach out if there's any
Yeah.
questions. Always reach out to the people around you, right? Having people that like you can always reach out to, and I know it can be scary. Like sending a message on LinkedIn can be so scary, but I promise you, people are more willing to help than you think. So please
Yeah.
feel free to always reach out, to always go outside of like your mind, because there are people who are going to see things differently, who have the experience to see things differently as well, and who can also encourage and make that journey easier for you. I think another advice that I had, I think while Neha was speaking, was actually just in terms of, yes, being audacious is one thing, but also like saying yes to like uncomfortable situations. Of course,
Mhm.
it's hard. Like, no one wants to be in an uncomfortable situation. But the one thing I've learned is like we only grow in uncomfortable situations. Like, if you're always comfortable, then you're not going to achieve the greatness that's in you, and that's something I'm learning constantly. Comfort is an enemy to like growth, really, really. And so I do think that if you are and if you have the ability to, please say yes to opportunities. People may see greatness in you that you don't see, and they present you with these opportunities. Please ensure to say yes. Go ahead and actually try it out. You may fail here and there. You may make mistakes. You may overthink your decision. You may overthink sending a text message. That all happens to all of us, but no one knows on the other end. The person who receives the message is not going to know that you overthought it. The person who sees you failing and picking back yourself up, they don't see things the way that you see it. In the moment, as the actor or as like the main character in our stories, we see things way differently from the way other people see it, right? So ensure to just say yes, ensure to go after the hard things, make yourself uncomfortable. And I think that's the best position to be in. That's the very best position to be in.
I agree with that. And I think, when I used to dance, this is my like my teacher used to tell me, only you know what's the right choreography, right? The audience does not. The same way, only you know
Exactly.
your story, you know your life, you know your journey. The other person, the audience, they're not aware of it. So you can shape it, transform it, build it however you want, because it's about, at the end of the day, it's about connections in every aspect, whether career, personally, reaching out. It's about connection. So the ball's on your in your court 100% of the times. So take that chance. And you can start taking that chance with us. You can start talking to us. I,
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
that helps.
am inspired by all of you. And thank you so much for taking the time to talk today. I feel like I've gained a very unique experience, all of it. And I feel like I know you a little bit better now. So thank you for taking the time. And I am inspired by you. So, and I know without an ounce of doubt that all of us are going to do great things in our lives, regardless of where we go. So thank you.
Thank you so
Great.
much.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
guys.
Hope
Super
you guys
proud.
have
Thank
an
you.
amazing co-op semester.
Yeah.
And yes, very proud of us.
Yes.